Yeah, we're still cruising through the holiday season here, and of course, there's ample time to catch up on a lot of viewing, between Thanksgiving break and then of course Christmas and New Year's break. There's always this time just hanging around, because even if you're spending time with your family, you can really only talk to them so much, Like you eventually need to just kind of like decompress. And so whether it's after the kids have gone to bed and it's late at night, or it's in the afternoon and you just want to kill some time, I've been watching a lot of stuff, and I've caught some things, a lot of middle of the road stuff. Nothing has really knocked my socks off lately, but there was one movie that kind of stood out a little bit, and that movie was Bullet Train. Now, I remember when it came out, and I thought it was interesting. I mean, I like Brad Pitt.
Me too.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like Brad Pitt, and if you're out there, please introduce yourself. Leave us a comment and let us know what you don't like about him, because I he's one of those guys that's like, if the movie isn't good, he's good, and you can't really complain. And
True.
he takes some chances, he takes some risks, but he also has his own little tool bag that he carries around with him that he can always pull from. He's got that charisma that just makes him Brad Pitt. And he kind of dabbled into that a little bit with this film, but of course he's the star. If you're not familiar with it, it's David Litch is the director.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he was Brad Pitt's stunt guy in like the 90s and the early aughts.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah, when it came out, they talk a lot about it. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of fun, just like, oh, I need a star for my movie. Brad Pitt, he can get things done. Brad Pitt did like 95% of his stunts in this movie, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, it was pretty good. It felt a little long. Like near the end, I was kind of like, oh, we're still doing this. Here we okay.
Says
Oh,
the guy who loved James Cameron. I'm just saying.
well, there's more to it than just the time. There's pacing, there's rhythm, there's introduction of characters. To me, there was just like, all right, we don't need this character. This whole fucking assassin and their story, whoosh, make it gone. Like let's keep this train a rolling. So there was some stuff like that where it's just like, oh, and then this person, like, they seem like they're going to be relevant, and then they're totally irrelevant. And all right, yeah, that was, I guess it was worth my time. I don't really know until I get to the end of the movie, which is taking a little while now. So I liked it. I didn't love it, but it was good. Brad Pitt was awesome. A lot of the other characters were really good. What's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah, he's always great.
Tangerine and Lemon.
Mhm.
Those two
I agree.
characters,
Yeah.
they were a lot of fun. The whole Thomas the Tank thing, like at first it felt a little forced, but then as the movie went on, all those analogies really kind of started like falling into place, and that was really cool.
And the female voice on the phone. I mean, we're not gonna spoil who is the person.
No, we're not, but it's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And you might be able to pick it up if you got a keen ear for voices. But the other thing that you got to understand when you're watching this movie, if you have not seen it, it's an action comedy. It's not just an action movie. So like if you're watching it and some silly shit is happening, it's supposed to be happening because it's partly a comedy. So there's some things where, like, under normal circumstances, you might be rolling your eyes, but you got to go with it. You got to buy the ticket and take the ride on this one. I will say that while I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, like, oh, this is kind of what I wanted one battle after another to be. Because I saw that in the theater a few weeks ago with Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro. And the way they marketed that movie, I thought it was going to be like The Dude meets John Wick, and it wasn't. It wasn't. That one also, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as great as everybody's making it out to be. But that's a conversation for another day. We're talking about Bullet Train. And so that met my expectations in that regard, because Brad Pitt's character is kind of very dudeish. He's searching for his zen, but there's also that John Wick action, and the fucking director was the producer of John Wick, so there you go.
And I remember this film has a very great how to say that aesthetic, you know, the colors and everything, and also
Yeah.
the music was really efficient. I remember that.
There's a lot of really fun music too. I love the Japanese renditions of American pop songs or just pop songs in general. Like well, I like Japanese music to begin with, but then I love their renditions of Western music as well. It always has its own little flair and style and like zip to it. So yeah, the music was really good. And the editing as well. Like again, it has that like music video, fast cut action energy to it, which, you know, for me, this played better since than some of like the Jason Bourne movies. You know, that shit's just off the fucking, you know, chain. But this one, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great, but it was pretty good. And if you want to just be entertained for 2 hours and 10 minutes, an hour and 50 minutes, you know, you'll enjoy it. If nothing else, for Brad Pitt.
Yeah, me this week I watched an action movie too called The Running Man. So I know it's not the first movie called The Running Man. I don't know when the first movie came out. I think it was with Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was 1987, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's based on a book by Stephen King, but under
Yeah.
his pen name Richard Bachman.
So yeah, I guess you know the story. So first of all, I love action movies, like we just said with Bullet Train. I love action movies with comedy, so I was expecting that. You have a little bit of comedy in it, but you have to wait quite a long time to have it. So I was a bit disappointed. I went to watch it in the theater because in France, I don't know if it's the same here in America, but in France they made a huge promotion around this movie. I don't know why, but it was really, really huge. Glenn Powell is not really well known here, but he was on every TV shows. And Glenn Powell, this actor, was really surprising in it. I mean, I never really watched a movie with him as a main role, so for me it was
Yeah,
the first time I watched him doing the main role. But he really delivers a great performance. So just for that, you should watch it.
Yeah, I like Glenn Powell, so for that reason, I'll check it out. You know, I'm always I like remakes of things I love, so it's a tough pill sometimes, but maybe I'll give it a shot.
yeah, I got nothing. He was good in Top Gun Maverick. You know,
Mhm.
I definitely believed he was a douchebag with a heart of gold.
So I thought it was going to be a big thing, but I was a bit disappointed, to be frank with you. The story is great, but it's really empty in the scenario. The connection between the characters, there's no connection. You don't understand why they get friends so easily, why the main character is supposed to be reluctant to human beings. You know, you don't understand why it goes so fast sometimes and so slowly at other moments. The end, you don't understand it. I watched on internet if someone had an explanation and everybody is like, I don't get the end. So it's really complicated to enjoy it from the beginning to the end. I would say that the 21st minutes, you're like, oh my God, what it is. But then at the middle, it really gets into the action and you have some fun with Michael Cera. I don't know if you know this actor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he brings some fun. And yeah, the end, it goes all over the place. You don't really understand it, and yeah, when it ends, you're a bit disappointed about this whole thing. So I'm not gonna. I mean, if you want to see what it is to compare with the film of 1997, I guess it's interesting to see the difference between the two. But unfortunately, I didn't have time to watch the first.
you
The
should
first one.
check out the original. Just yeah, so you can compare the two because they are different. The original movie is very different than the book, and for this new one, I do believe that they went back to the
Mhm.
source material a little bit stronger. The original film takes quite a few liberties because they didn't have a whole lot of money, even with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but they definitely delivered an entertaining package. I'll say that much. I like the original Running Man. I watched it a lot as a kid.
Me too.
Um,
Probably. not appropriate for when I
Yeah.
saw it, but,
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and, I was curious about it because the director was Edgar Wright,
yeah.
Yes.
and, I've been I've seen most of his films and enjoyed, a good amount of them. I'm not a huge Edgar Wright, like, "I gotta see everything because he's the greatest." But, yeah, I was curious about this one just because I have read the book, and I do really enjoy the original film, and I do like Edgar Wright for the
But
most
the,
part.
the the story of this movie, what is really interesting in it, is the fact that it's. I think I feel that I'm telling you every time about every movie I watch, but it's a satire of our society, especially about the AI generated deepfakes. And I'm
Mm.
sure the first movie didn't really talk about it because it's quite a new thing. And the fact that we have more and more shitty TV programs, but actually it's because of us, because we're watching them, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. It really make you question your relation with violence and those shitty TV programs. So yeah,
We are the snake eating our own tail.
exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
I finally sat down to watch the Thunderbolts, the Marvel MCU movie, and, because I like a lot of
The
the
new
people.
Avengers.
The new Avengers, as they call them, yeah. The first half of the movie was pretty good. It was pretty solid. It was chugging along, decent pacing. It was kinda, you're put in a situation with these characters where you're not really sure what's going on. You kinda gotta figure out as they're figuring out what the fuck is going on. And
Yeah.
as you're doing that, it's like, okay, the mystery is unfolding, and then you kinda figure out you kinda, you're kinda on pace with them. "Oh, I see where this is headed." The end for me left a lot to be desired. I understood what they were trying to do. It became an allegory movie, and I get that, but I feel like I've seen that specific topic covered in other movies where it's also an allegory, but done way fucking better. And I love Julie Louis-Dreyfus, I love David Arbor, I love Sebastian Stan is fantastic as the fucking Winter Soldier, and Florence Pugh is she's really great in everything I've seen her in. I've seen her in a bunch of things now. So these are all
Yeah.
drawing points. And then I didn't realize that Bill Pullman's kid was in this one. And he's good in this also. So the couple things I've
You
seen
know,
him in, he's good. But just
y-
it was lackluster.
I saw it as well. I watched it a couple of weeks ago as well, and like I said at the beginning, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of middle of the road stuff, and that was kind of on that road.
Yeah,
It it wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. Like, you seem to have, more issues with it than I did. I was just kind of like going along for the ride. But one thing that really kind of stood out to me in this film that was a pleasant surprise, because I'd seen him in a few things and especially a few other Marvel things, was Wyatt Russell.
yeah,
For me, he was kind of a standout in this one where it's like, okay, that's cool. And then yeah, I did like how they kind of picked up all these other little misfits from the various stories and films and series, and they brought them all together, and they kind of put them into a situation where, yeah, they have to become the new
yeah.
Avengers. I did like that it was less than 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
I take that all day.
there's no momentum with this film. And what I mean by that is the last time we saw Wyatt Russell's character, US agent, was in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, which came out in 2019, 2020, like in that
Yeah.
time frame when Disney Plus first dropped, right? All these other characters, we haven't seen them since whatever movie it was. So going into this, it's like, huh, there's no like energetic push forward. Like after Endgame, people end up
Right,
in
but I
certain
think
places.
this movie is supposed to be that for Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Everything is a stepping
That's
stone
what
for
they're
the
they're
Avengers
yeah,
movies.
they're bringing everything together, and they're making this movie to be the launch pad, like Thor and Iron Man 1 and 2 and Incredible Hulk were for the Avengers.
Yeah, I think that my other problem for it is with it.
Anne is just on another planet right now. She has no idea what the fuck's going on.
That's
Uh,
exactly why I don't really like those movies. It's like you have to be immersed in the environment to
in the
understand
universe.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
not really. You just need to watch 40 movies and, like, 20 TV shows. That's all.
Come on,
yeah,
it's light work.
okay,
But yeah,
okay.
that's
That's like 2 months. You can knock that out.
two
Sure.
things I think that were to the detriment of this movie is David Harbour and Florence Pugh have great chemistry. And I
Yeah.
feel like that should have been more of the centerpiece than it actually ended up being. Because when they're on screen together, they're fantastic, and I like that relationship.
It was like coming up almost to the edge, but it never went to the edge. Like it could have been a little bit more foreground, like, core of the story, and it was just kind of like peripheral.
Yeah,
I agree.
and I feel like Bucky, you know,
I have no idea why the fuck he's a senator now, and who the fuck would vote for him after like his history as the Winter Soldier. Like, what the hell is going on?
that was my main problem. He needs to be more of a prominent character and just
Yeah.
explore. But right there, how the fuck is he a senator? That's something we should have explored. Like how how Bucky ends up from being a wanted fugitive for murder to he's a senator. That's an interesting story they should have told.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, he's a senator now. Oh, well, okay. I guess we're just gonna fucking buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was fine. Stepping stone to the next big thing.
Yeah, well, speaking of stepping stones to the next big thing, we're going to wrap up this episode here, but I do hope that everybody comes back next week to hear our exciting conversation about Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. We're going deep into the forest to Holidayland. Christmas Town, Halloween Town, we're going there. You can come with us. And those are the coming distractions for this week.